It's really fun. It's very exciting. We have had a lot of great success being next to each other.
How have you seen that chemistry kind of develop over these practices where Dewan has been playing right now?
I would say that it developed really fast, just because he's a player that plays with a lot of energy. It can be four a game, five a game. He's excited. He's yelling, "Let's go!" So I would say that it was built very, very fast.
I think this kind of has come as a surprise to some of us, Paris, that Dewan would go in there and there would be this shuffling going on. What signs maybe did you guys have that this could be an option?
Um, to be honest, I just go where fits the team. I guess I never really was worried about where the shuffle would happen or how it would go. So if they needed me to be somewhere and needed him to be somewhere, I trusted it. So.
You guys seeing that growth in Dewan over the summer? Or?
Oh yes, he's definitely taken the next step since, I would say, with even these winter workouts. I haven't known Dewan that long with me coming in last spring, so I didn't really see him his true freshman season. But I would say I've definitely seen he's been very, very mature the way he's handling things, and he's been stepping up to be a leader too.
How did this normal full winter, full spring, full summer with Nick, what did that do for you?
Oh, it was incredible. Even the months that I had before COVID, those 2 months were incredible. So I would say he's been working a lot with me, with just not only physically, which it's been like that since I first enrolled, but also he's been on me a lot mentally, because he wants me to take that next step as a leader, not just as far as my actions, but me being vocal and being consistent, and just the little things that he's been working on to create good habits. So it's been helping me a lot.
Stud was really talking you up, Paris. How do you feel out there? Why do you think you've caught his eye so much during the game so far?
I think my goal in camp is just to go out there and just dominate. And I feel like the coaches know that I play with an edge, and I like to finish, and I like to try to be the most aggressive guy on the field. And I think that the next step for me this season, which I've had a conversation with Coach Stud, is now it's about honing in on the technique and the right steps. So I feel like the finishing and stuff, that's kind of expected with me, because that's the standard I've set for myself when I first came in. But now it's about, the steps, my hand placement, things like that. I feel like that right now is really what's exciting him and my teammates on the field, is that seeing that growth with me as a technician and not just as an aggressor.
You got a lot of reps last year as a true freshman, especially in big moments. I think you played a lot against Clemson in huge moments. How much did those reps help you come into this year?
I would say those reps were crucial, just because I feel like mentally now I know going into this season that I know what it feels like to step out there, and whether it's the second quarter or the third quarter or the fourth quarter, and just go out there and play, and then just get a feel for, okay, this is not practice. So in a way, it felt kind of easier in certain ways. I was like, okay, defense, they don't, I make my call, their defense, they don't know our plays, our calls. So when I make that call, it felt kind of slowed down in a way. So I feel like it was good to get that feel for the first time then versus, this upcoming season. So that
Maybe the best tackle in the country in high school.
Nicholas Petit Frere, folks.
Just with stuff shifting around, Thayer and Nick played it. Now it's like he wants to get the shot to play it, and you certainly could play tackle right now. If that's what you want. Is there any part of you like, man, I kind of like this shot to be a starting tackle right now? How are you handling that as things sort of shift around?
Well, I feel like the coaches, and I feel like the people, and I feel like the people in the offensive line room, they know I can play tackle just as well as I can play guard right now. But I feel like right now, I've been talking to the coaches, and then just I'm a man of faith, so I feel like I get a feeling to where it's you play offensive line, it's the most selfless position on the unit on the team. So it's if I'm best fit to be a center this season, then I'm gonna be a center. I'll be a right guard. I'll be a left guard. And I feel like it's just about just going out there and just trying to show versatility and just showing that you can put me wherever and I'll go out there and play. Because I feel like everybody knows I can play tackle.
Yeah.
But now this is me stepping outside of that zone and just dominating in a different spot. You know, because I feel like at the next level, you can't just be a left tackle. You gotta be a left guard, a right guard. You know, so you know, hopefully next season I'll transition to that next step of playing tackle. But right now, I want to dominate where the coaches best see fit. You know, for the team.
And like, we're not trying to stir up stuff with that. It just does seem like legitimately you're sacrificing a little bit, you know, for the team. Because we, like you said, everybody knows what kind of tackle you are. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you know, lots of guys here do what's best for the team. But is that fair to say that you're trying to think of team first here and knowing that, man, my tackle time will come, but it's a little bit of a sacrifice for you to play inside right now.
I mean, I feel like when I first came to Ohio State, I never saw myself playing any other position other than left tackle, maybe right tackle.
Yep.
But for a little bit, and making the transition. But I feel like it sort of changed my mindset from like year one. I wanted to come in, I wanted to win that spot of like right tackle. That's not how it went. But I feel like this season it's about getting on the field and dominating and just getting my name out there, because at any moment, like, you know, who knows what shifts, I can still be there for the team if they need me to switch out the tackle for a play, for a series, because I still know it. I learned it all last season, and now I feel like they needed me to transition to guard, and I feel like the plays that I had last season, like those couple of plays I had in my freshman year showed, you know what, if we need him on guard, he can be a guard. So, I don't know, I feel like this season I'm just grateful to be out there and play with my teammates, and I'm just going to dominate out there, and when it's my time to be a tackle, I'll go back and tackle.
Coach Stud was saying, like, talk about your pad level at guard, right? And, like, how great it is. And then, like, you're a big guy, but it felt like him acknowledging that, like, listen, man, like, yeah, maybe this guy wants to be a tackle, but he's doing everything that we need him to do at guard. That do you feel yourself like being a guard, that you're not like a tackle who's just playing guard, that you're really embracing everything at that position?
I feel like that mindset was the next step that I had to take initially in camp, was that during the spring ball I felt like I was an athletic tackle who came down and guard. And now I feel like, you know what, I'm going to be fully, not just physically in terms of pad level and everything, but fully embracing I'm in guard right now. And I feel like that's really helped me a lot. So not feeling like, okay, like there's even some times in my sets I might set like a tackle on accident, out of habit. I'm like, you know what, as a guard, I need to mentally set like this. I need to be like that, you know? So.
Can you speak to the crowd you're in now compared to being out on the edge? How much did that take getting used to, being in a huge crowd of huge men, you know, all the time? I mean, in other words, not feeling claustrophobic from being a tackle, but moving inside.
Okay, yeah. Well, I would say it was an adjustment that took some time being used to, because at first, you know, when you're a tackle, you're used to being by yourself. You're not having much help unless it's a twist or something, but usually, you know, you're by yourself on an island. But so it took a little bit, because now I switched roles to, I felt more of like support. Like, I need to make sure that my tackle is not getting picked up by the three technique. I have to make sure that my center is clean, so now my eyes are everywhere more. But I feel like I really like it, because it really helped me learn the offense more. Because last season, I would say I really, you know, if I'm speaking truthfully, I only really knew what the tackle did and what, you know, how the guard would help him. But now with me being a guard, I feel like in the future, in my career, me playing guard, I'm gonna know how to help with me being a guard, when I go back to tackle, I'm gonna know what my guard needs, because I've been there. And I feel like now I'm going against those heavier guys, and again, with me, the pad level being a guard versus being a tackle is different. So I feel like being able to take that and from what I've been learning and doing when it's my time, like it's gonna feel so different because and I'm learning the offense. I'm learning what my center has to do, my vision, my keys are slightly, different. I'm having to pull more, so I feel like I'm learning the offense a lot. So
Have you I should know this, but in your travails as a journalist, have you interviewed Harry Miller yet? Have you ever interviewed
I have not.
about him?
I have not.
That'd be a tough one.
I feel like that would be to try to keep up with, what he's talking about sometimes.
Harris, what was it like to go out there today, or the last few days, being part of that offensive line, like we're talking about, with DeWan on the right side, Nick on the left, Thayer left guard stuff? Does it feel like a stronger fist? I mean, what does it feel like to be in the midst of that?
Oh, it feels like this is a very strong line that we have. I feel like wherever you put anybody in the room, I feel like we're gonna have a strong line. Like I just feel like our room is very tight, so you could shuffle literally you could play anybody anywhere, and we're gonna go out there and it's gonna be seamless. So.
Harris, how have you been able to work with Donovan Jackson? You guys had very similar expectations coming out of high school, both five-star all-around players, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What have you seen out of him that impressed you as a guy who's been through the same expectations? And also, how have you helped guide him through handling?
I would say one thing about him that I think he reminds me of myself in terms of that he's very tough, and he came in and his technique was really great, and he's a hard worker, and he doesn't question having to do more. He's just, okay, I'll do it, just how do you want me to change? So I would say his mentality as a young guy is really impressive, and I feel like he's been talking to me about us watching film together or just doing certain steps, and he's the type of guy that you tell him things once or twice and he's got it.
Does it make sense that you're tall? What are you, 6'6"?
6'6.5", 6'7".
So that might not be the most comfortable height for a guard, right?
Mm-hmm.
But DeWan's even a little taller, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense that, listen, if that's the best five, it's just maybe a more difficult transition for DeWan to try to go inside, so we'll keep him at tackle and maybe you're a little more flexible? Or like, how does that fit together, do you think, if you guys are trying to get the best five on the field?
I think that's really all to Coach Stud and just what he sees fit. And I feel like I've always been the type of person since I was younger. I always believe that the coach's vision, he's been doing it for so long that I think he knows where, by seeing our body types and the way that we bend, the way that we play, who can fit where. So I'm a full believer that me being guard right now is great. I feel like the mindset that I'm going into it with is that it's a great learning opportunity, because I'm going to be able to, like I said earlier, learn the offense better. Now I have to bend a little bit more. Now I'm supporting the center, looking out for the tackle. I'm not on an island, and I feel like in the future in my career this is great, because I don't know if at any point, God willing, and when I'm playing at the next level, that I might need to go to guard. Now I know how to do it. I have it on film, so I'm just excited to get out there and play.
Was it ever a little just uncomfortable as you got used to, just at your size, that bend, and getting used to just lining up at guard?
I would say it wasn't
a
lot, because I feel like when we were home during COVID, I spent a lot of time with my best friend. I've known his friend my entire life, Michael Jordan, who played here. And I feel like just seeing him do it, it was I feel like it's a thing mentally you have to get past it. Oh, I'm too tall to do it. I'm too tall to do it. But then you see people like Mike Jordan, who's the same height, same weight. He did it. He played center here. So I'm like, if he can do it, then I know I can do it. So there were times where we trained together, and I would get in a three-point stance. But it was just to get used to it. But it was the mindset of being a tackle. But it ended up helping me out down the road with me playing guard. Seeing him do it, I know it's possible.
Is it any easier? I imagine it's different, but is it any easier pass blocking on the interior after you spent so much time kind of on the island by yourself?
I would say that it's okay. I think the best answer is that it's different. It's noticed that in terms of I've been used to going against fast guys and they rush a certain way and I have a lot of space between me and the quarterback. Versus at guard, you don't have as much space, as much time. But those guys are bigger, they're slower, like they're fast, like twitch, right? But they're not gonna run around you. So I feel like it's teaching me how to be a better protector in terms of just going against different body types of guys. So I've been liking it a lot.
And if it does end up that it's you and Thayer playing guard, two guys who were kind of tackled by trade, what do you think that would do for the group in terms of interior pass protection? Because I feel like there have been times the last couple of years where when teams have attacked you, that's where they've tried to attack you, is up the middle. If you have two guys who are tackles there who are kind of used to, pass blocking on their own, being on that island, but now they're inside, like, can that help you, I don't know, combat that a little better?
I feel like that experience of being on the outside really helps. And we've had those conversations with me, Thayer, Nick, and DeJuan, and just talking. We've all played tackle. So it's one of those things like we're going to notice a lot of blitzes and a lot of the safety and the corners coming down and starting to creep because we've all been trained in the meeting room to look at all that stuff. But now I'm being trained to also see what is a guard supposed to look at? What is the center looking at? So now I'm already instinctively looking now and all that stuff. So I think our communication's been great. And I feel like that shouldn't be a big issue at all.
Anyone else? Good? All right. Thank you very much, Paris.
Thank you, Paris.
Yes, sir.